very best. It's 11 o'clock and I have to get ready to see Andrew Huberman, and I think it's one of the girls. Kiara has a presentation tomorrow, or today, and I want to go, so, but they're at the same time as Andrew Huberman's, so I want to be able to kind of do both, but I know what I'm gonna wear. I just gotta get ready now. So this is what I'm wearing, but I can't figure out if I want to put on this ponytail or keep with the long black one that kind of gives mysterious. Also, I've been wearing it the entire week so far, so if somebody thinks it's my real hair, this would be a shocker, right? Also, I just think it also looks better. I know the red would have been cute, like the red on the red on the red on the red. But yeah, last night I got sick when I came home. And I mean, you know, we were out. We went on this cannabis. Because of the rules in state, you have to be in like a private area, so the bus has like a door, so that's why it's like legal and everything is like legal. I was like, it's very cool. You see a lot of people doing a lot of different drugs in your life. At least if you are around people who tend to do drugs, you'll see a lot of people doing different kinds of drugs. That happens, but this is really like a non-judgmental area. I feel like somebody could do meth in front of me while I'm here and I'll be like, as long as you're being safe, you know? Like, did you test your drugs? Okay, all right, yeah. But I'm not doing anything here that I wouldn't do at home. Okay, ready? 5-minute makeup challenge, again. This time, maybe we'll actually make 5 minutes. Maybe we're gonna be 10, as long as we leave by 11:45 the latest. Call the Uber at 11:40, we're good. It is time. Anita, that's
and that's why she love me. She don't want no money, she just want.
The dopest, right? I'm Ruben Blackwell. I'm a native North Carolinian. Lived there most of my life. Yeah, I lead an organization called Opportunities Industrialization Center. We shorten it OIC. Open up your eyes awake. We are a community-based not-for-profit that deals with all areas of uplift of our community. We intentionally focus and serve Black communities. What's up, everybody? I love that we got family here. I love you back, guys. My name is Ayize Jama Everett. I've produced a documentary along with some awesome people called A Table of Our Own. For Black people living in the psychedelic space, its premiere is tomorrow from 11 to 1. Outside of that, I run an anti-agenic ministry program at Star King School for the Ministry in California. Yeah! Yes. And I've been in this space since around 2005. That's when I started guiding folks, but I grew up in the plant medicine space, not realizing that other people call it psychedelics.
Dr. Erica Baden. I am a physician in behavioral health and addiction medicine, and I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. Yes, there are Black people in Utah. and since I left, there's still Black people. Of the Black physicians in Utah. We have about 35, and we try to serve our community and have close proximity to our community. So we do a Faith and Facts series. We started a Black Men's Mental Health Forum. We also mentor the youth and young adults to enter STEM fields as well as medicine. And this is the new space. We're trying to help with our healing in other ways. And so this space is another space that I'm also grateful for and we're bringing to our people.
What's up, everybody? Thank you all for being here. My name is Andre Lamar. And I do several things. I guess first I'm a trauma-informed yoga and meditation instructor. I'm also the founder of a nonprofit called Inner City Bliss that supports the mental health of the inner city youth in Oakland. I'm an ordained facilitator for Sacred Garden Community Church, which is a multi-sacrament church located in the Bay Area. And I'm also a mentor for Alma Institute, which is creating psilocybin training in Oregon.
We also wanted to thank the person who brought us all together. This panel was, Darren, go. Where you going? Dr. Darren Smith actually, curated this panel, and so we want to give him a big round of applause.
If you want to talk about the Black church, that's not always the safest place, not for Black people. And so I have to say that the church, and I'm gray in the head, so yeah, I could be your dad. So things might have been a little different for me growing up in the traditional church in the South than it is today. When I grew up, the church was leadership training. It was community expanding. It's where we did voter education and registration. It's where we met our candidates and groomed our candidates and helped them develop policy and outlook. It's also where we took care of each other. And Miss Jones, the husband got sick, so everybody made sure that the kids would eat. That's the kind of church I grew up in. But it was also a very limiting church. There were limits on what was acceptable, limits on what direction everybody should be moving towards, and limits on who was accepted and who was not. So while it created tremendous opportunity for community building and strengthening in leadership development, it was also at the same time very toxic, very harmful, very painful, and many abuses taking place that were never dealt with, and toxicity that was normalized. And so for me, when we say let's use the Black church, we got a huge description of what Black church means. It depends on apostolic, Pentecostal, traditional, non-traditional. You got to work through all that. All I can say is you better work with who's already open to your message. Okay? I spend no time trying to convert folk who already had decided what their reality is. That's your reality, you live in it, baby, that's good. It just doesn't fit me. So what I would say though, is that if we want to bring people into another level of understanding and acceptance, I believe that we have to learn how to tie the medical with the spiritual and not separate those two. And I think that there are people in the faith movements that would understand we got to have our physicians, our providers, our clinical experts, talk about the application just the same way you did. You just got to talk about the real life experience and then help them tie back to what they remember with their grandparents. You understand that what we're talking about is nothing new, it's not odd, don't get off the legal issue, because legal is a political issue. You understand? It depends on who runs the systems about who is legal. Who makes the money from it? That's what determines what's legal. Talk about what's healthy. Talk about what works. Talk about what frees us and strengthens us and brings hope, healing, and wealth to us.
Yes. Let's give it church right now. Amen. All right, so we've been talking about cultural context and making sure that we can translate, we can apply it to not only where our community is coming from, but also reclaiming those contexts that we were stripped of and bringing that knowledge and memory back. And so knowing that it's an underrepresented space in the psychedelic ecosystem, and knowing that folks in this space are navigating very white-dominated spaces, Andre, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on the work that you do with trauma-informed yoga and meditation, how that helps and enhances the psychedelic experience, if we're thinking about integration, if we're thinking about preparation, but also to what strategies can we share with our audience today to really help them think about how we can create more Black inclusive spaces in your realm.
And Thich Nhat Hanh said, meditation is to be aware of what's going on in our mind, in our emotions, and in our bodies. He said, life is both challenging and beautiful. To practice meditation is to be in touch with both aspects, to be at peace with both of those aspects, to be okay that life is challenging and beautiful. So I have a question to pose to the audience. Typically when people take medicine, they're either seeking an experience or seeking healing, maybe to relieve their suffering. I don't think anyone is bad, but I just want to get a gauge of where everybody is in the room. When you take psychedelics, raise your hand if you're seeking the experience, so the shapes and the colors, being visited by entities, the feelings in the body. Raise your hand if you're seeking an experience. Okay, great. Now I want the people to raise their hand that are seeking relief from suffering, maybe trying to seek a breakthrough. Okay, so that's kind of what I thought. Most of us are taking sacraments and seeking relief for anguish that is going on in our mind, in our emotions, or in our bodies, right? So meditation is going to help us become more aware of what's going on in our mind, in our emotions, in our bodies, and it feels like the perfect companion to the psychedelic experience. When you're preparing for a psychedelic journey, basically you're preparing to deal with what's going on in your mind, in your emotions, and in your body, right? When you're integrating a psychedelic experience, you're processing what you dealt with as you were dealing with what's going on in your mind, in your emotions, and in your body.
She was 18 of an overdose, and he was like, I can't stop drinking. And I was like, is there any time when you don't want to drink? And he said, well, I do mushrooms. I had my own past, I had my own traditions, whatever. I was like, okay, right? I didn't, just to be clear, I had gone to Oaxaca. I went to Oaxaca for mezcal. I did not go to like study in the wall, right? My uncle had been to Gabon. I had never been to Gabon, right? I'm no traditional healer as people typically did it. So this is from our culture, that culture that me and this kid both knew. And I was like, okay, so once a month, we sat down, he had 5 grams of mushrooms, and because I had him in treatment for a while, we talked through stuff. Right? And after 5 months, he was like, yo, we have to keep doing this. I was like, dude, you started this. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, well, look, I don't really drink anymore. He's like, you know, I joined this men's group. You know, we were talking, I got like, you know, dad group going on. Like, he's like, I got the good job. He's like, I don't want to drink anymore. I was like, well, cool. It's here for you if you ever need it. Let me know. He's like, wait. He's like, because I told the dudes in the men's group about it, and they want to do it. And that's how I got started. Okay, that's why I started in 2005. Okay, and that was black folks, white folks, Latinos, Hmong, Samoan, everybody, right? So I'm not gonna, no offense to sound gas or anything like that, I'm not gonna bring somebody who like has grown up on EBT and like, you know, federal housing their entire life. I'm not gonna take them to a sound bath. The fuck is that? It's completely and totally out of the cultural context. Right? I'm gonna take the medicine to where they are. My mentor called me a guerrilla theologian. I'm taking spirituality where it's not supposed to go. Right? But I think every time you set up a barrier, like, well, you have to have this language, or you have to go to it in this way, and yada, yada, yada. Look, man, you go down to the Amazon, not everybody's doing it the same way. You go to Mexico, not everybody's doing it the same way. It fits the cultural context of the people that are there. So why don't we do that? Why don't we focus on what's the cultural context? As a theologian, there's 2 ways that we think about conversion, conversion when it comes to like, let's say the Christian Bible, right? You can take a bunch of people and force them how to learn to read English or Latin that the Bible is written in. Or you can translate your Bible into the people's language. And so my training has always been bring it to where the people are, not the other way around. If you do it the other way, I call it colonization. And that's what I'm seeing in the psychedelic space. A lot of psychedelic copies.
I'm gonna drop some gems too, you know. So I live by these 3 C's: culture, context, and community. Culture matters. The context matters. Our community matters. When we think intentionally and thoughtfully around these things, it helps us stay curious. Like another C in there. Stay curious. Those things are really important, and why we bring these spaces together is because we're bringing in the culture. We're bringing in the context, and we're doing so in community so that you all can stay curious and continue your journey beyond this moment, right?
Just so you're clear, we're talking about in close proximity. You see Florida coming up there at the top left of this slide to the US. And we're true Caribbean and melting pot. There's no indigenous Jamaican or colonizers south of that. But what you have is a combination of descendants of African slaves, Chinese indentured laborers, Indian indentured laborers. So a mixture of cultures, but more specifically, as it relates to this talk, with a belief in all 3 groups in herbal and natural remedies.
I don't know what you're talking about unless you say indigenous too. It's contextual, right? Native American. Well, yeah, that's a little more accurate. I could say I'm an indigenous woman. I can also say I'm a Native American woman. But America, are you talking about North America, Central America, South America? So Native American could also be from several different places, different continents. American Indian is a little more accurate, although also still incorrect, a complete misnomer. We're not in India. And it is, however, a political term. It is tied to the federal legislation in this country, which gives us political status. I am a dual citizen. I'm a citizen of the United States, and I'm a citizen of the Turtle Mountain Nation. We are a sovereign nation. We made treaties with the government of this colonial country. And we didn't get citizenship as American Indians in the United States until 1924. We were the last people to get citizenship here. Why? Because there was centuries of Indian wars. They wanted to get rid of us. They needed the land, they wanted access to the resources, and so that's also important context, right? So I claim the identity of the American Indian. This ghost dance movement was secret ceremony at night. They would take place at night. And it was the prayer of our people to revitalize our ways and our culture. They were taking our children to boarding school at this time. And if you resisted, they put you in jail. We're not going to co-opt, we're not going to culturally appropriate. We're going to support and protect Indigenous peoples, even if that means leaving them alone.
Yeah. There's a decrease in slow oscillations. Slow oscillations become programs. Okay? Which also agrees with the human literature to a large extent. In the last study that I mentioned there, they make it a speculation that perhaps what is happening there is a hybrid between slow.
African spirit invocations don't die.
I'm gonna scooter home because Uber just kept costing a lot of money, and then I go out and look out the window and it's raining a lot. I can't scooter home in this.
Okay, so it is finally time for me to go to bed. It was a very fulfilling day of panelists, and I felt very inspired the entire day. I might have cried a couple tears because it just felt very Black. Lately, the entire trip has felt, because of the spaces that I'm allowing myself to be in, very Black pride, Black love, Black joy, Black struggle, like Black. And it's been very comforting because I don't have like that sense of community when I'm at home. Damn, it's raining. I don't have like that same sense of community because I don't know a lot of other people that look like me who want to get into the same field or who want to like contribute in some of the similar ways that I would like to. So it's been really nice, and I'm meeting a lot of doctors and lawyers and therapists and psychiatrists and psychologists and scientists and researchers, and it's fulfilling, definitely, to say the least. And I know that it's been helpful and hopeful to me, because a lot of them are telling me they're proud of me for being someone my age here in this field, in this establishment, and like getting my foot in the door. So they're gonna be proud of me. I should be proud of me too. So I am very proud. But I'm gonna call it a night. It's pouring. I don't know if the girls are still gonna want to go out. I hope not. I'm gonna say no and just stay in my room, get some work done, look at it rain, watch some Black Mirror because the new season came out, because it's been a triptastic day. So
listen, there are a lot of people who have been harmed by this movement, and I understand you all want to hear what Rick has to say, but we have been marginalized and kept out. I am using my light skin privileges, woman over there who wants to question my indigeneity. Okay? Your indigeneity isn't just your DNA and your brown skin, it's also being witnessed in community. So please sit down and be quiet. You don't know what a revolution is. Rick, I have asked you many times in training, where are the indigenous people of these lands, the elders? I put together a panel that you guys did not respond to, and I had to fight, we had to fight to get people here. You weren't there. We had Navajo elders, peyote garden gatekeepers of white people coming to take it. Because yeah, we do need to gatekeep, we need to protect our medicines. Because mescaline gives access to peyote. So Rick, where are you with us? Because I see a lot of indigenous folks, I do, and I'm not disrespecting them, but you're tokenizing them. You're sprinkling us in, and you're not giving us the space that we deserve.
You have the space right now.
And as a consequence, if you don't liberate the people who are most marginalized on their own land and sovereign nations,